Gate 14 podcast, and we just watched an absolute shit-kicking dog walking from the Philadelphia Phillies to the Toronto Blue Jays. But we move forward. Avery, what's up, man? What's changed from you since last time I talked to you 15, 20 minutes ago?
I had a nice nap, reset the body, and that's about everything that's happened. Tough effort, but we have a fun interview for you guys coming up.
A split is a win. A split is a win. So yeah, funny interview coming up. I soloed it. Little Johnny Junta back to the officially unofficial days. Just a solo podcast interview. It was fun to just talk to Schneider and kind of get a read off him. He is awesome. Absolutely fucking awesome. So I've always wanted to say this, so I'm going to say it right now. Without further ado, let's kick it to the Davis Schneider interview. All right. If you're watching this, you're seeing it's Johnny Solo on the screen with a very special guest. He went from 28th round draft pick to Canadian sensation, the man with the muzzy and the glasses, Davis Schneider. What's up, brother? Welcome to Gate 14. How are you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's definitely been a crazy past couple of days, to say the least. But it's been fun for sure.
Yeah, and I'll hand up. This is a long time coming. We were listen, we got a little greedy. We tried to get you on the Sunday after you made history at Fenway, but it couldn't be done. You were probably doing tons of media stuff. But let's just go into that, man. I mean, the last couple of weeks, it's just been absurd. I mean, I'm assuming now you can't really walk around the Rogers Center without getting noticed. You're obviously a really easy person to notice with the glasses and the muzzy and all that type of stuff. What has the last couple of weeks been here, man?
It's been pretty crazy. I mean, that's really all I can say. I mean, yeah, like you said, like I would go outside the hotel and people would just start coming up to me asking for autographs and pictures. And I'm from a small town in New Jersey, so like I would never really think of this all possible. But it's been cool. I mean, a little overwhelming at times, but I mean that's part of it, you know. So, but yeah, I couldn't really ask for a better start to a career. I mean, I never really thought this would ever happen, but you know, I'm here and gonna be more grateful for it.
It's just such a great story, man. It really is. It's absurd. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not a math guy. I'm not smart enough to go over the percentages, but a 28th round draft pick shouldn't be in the place you're in. Plain and simple. But let's go into the start of your minor league career, man, because I love the minors. And a stat came out that you're like one of the only guys that have played at every single level in the Toronto Blue Jays system. I love the minor leagues. Before we go into all the baseball stuff, what's the funniest minor league story that you have? So I'll give you a little background, some time to think about it. So on this other podcast I used to do, we've had big league guys talk about like stories of fans climbing light poles with machetes, waiting at the team buses to fight the players because they got chirpy during the game. We had a story where fans thought the VIP section was in the dugout, so they just started walking towards the dugout and sitting in the dugout because there was not really much security there. What's the craziest minor league story you have in your career?
I'm trying to think of fan wise that now that you mentioned that, but you know, I've had a couple games where fans ran onto the field in Vancouver. There was one, and I was playing left, and literally a woman ran across the field, and there was no security stop her at all. Like we had two security guards on the side of the field, and like no one got up or did anything, and it was just literally like a 30-second pause in the game, and everyone was just kind of looking around, like, did that just happen? But yeah, I can't really think of anything right now, like hilarious wise. I mean, I've lived a pretty standard minor league career. I mean, nothing crazy has went on, but I'm sure there's a bunch of stories.
I guess it differs based off like where the Jays are geographically. Like you guys kind of play in, no disrespect to like the southern states, but they don't get after it like they do. And like when I hear these stories about like these small towns in Georgia or these small towns, all that type of stuff, you're in fairly moderate, like normal cities. Like, I mean, obviously Vancouver is a very normal place, so it might be a little bit different. But look, going into your draft stuff, so you went 28th round. Where were you committed out of high school? This might be bad podcasting for me, but where were you committed out of high school?
I was gonna go to Rutgers. That was my only offer I had, and so like, and I never really thought about the JUCO route or anything like that. That never really came across my mind. I mean, I should have, looking back at it, that should have been an option, but that was my only offer. That was my junior year of high school, and they kind of gave me an ultimatum. They kind of gave me like a week to decide, and no, I had no other interest. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go here. And it was a kind of a good fit. It was a Big Ten school. You're gonna play against other Big Ten like Maryland, Michigan. So like it was a good opportunity. But you know, obviously they weren't the best Big Ten program, but obviously they're really good now. But at the time they weren't the top tier.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, that was my only offer. So kind of just rolled with it.
I'm a JUCO guy. I went to school in Nebraska. I wouldn't say I played baseball there technically based on my stats, but you were you are the perfect example of what a junior college baseball player is like. You did that. That didn't cross your mind once. Like no JUCOs reached out to you. None of your high school coaches told you about JUCO. Nothing.
No, not really. There's like a D3 JUCO near me that's really good, but that was just if no D1 schools kind of offered you. That was kind of like last resort. And yeah, like it just didn't really cross my mind. I mean, I should have went down south if I had the chance to play JUCO, like in good schools down there, but no one really reached out, and Rutgers was the only kind of opportunity. So I kind of just had to go for that.
It's insane. I mean, and going into this, like in high school, did you? And obviously, I know you said you couldn't imagine being here where you're at right now and all type of stuff. But in the back of your mind, like, were you at some point like, man, I'm better than a lot of these guys that I'm playing with? Just like the mindset you had and stuff like that. Like, how come I only have one offer? All that type of stuff.
No, that's literally like the funniest thing is that like I always thought I was good enough or even better than guys who are committed to like either Vanderbilt or Clemson or all these D1 programs. And I was, I'm on the shorter side. I don't throw the hardest. I don't run. I was the same height I am now, but I was 30 pounds heavier in high school. I was kind of a little on the chubby side. So that kind of probably shied schools away from me at that point. But I always could really hit. I hit every tournament that I played in, but I didn't really kind of fit the physical mold, as you should say. Like I didn't really kind of look the part when it came to a D1 baseball player. And so I think that's why kind of coaches kind of shied away. But I always thought I was good enough. But just gotta put your head down and hopefully it works out.
So you getting drafted, right? I mean, that puts you in a pretty vulnerable position, obviously, right? 28th round, not a lot of money there. You kind of turned down going to a school, and I'm assuming get a decent amount of your education paid for. How hard was that for you, man? I mean, listen, like I said, I'm not a math guy, but the numbers aren't there for a 28th rounder to make the show. Who told you to be like, fuck it, just go play professional baseball? Like who was the one that gave you that piece of advice, or was it just you not listening to anyone?
I mean, it was definitely me, but my parents obviously kind of supported me, whatever decision I made. And I didn't really think much of it. Like I got drafted and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. Like, I'm gonna sign. And like looking back at it, not many high school players do that in the late rounds. They don't really, but it was just didn't really cross my mind. Like once I got drafted, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go to school. Like even if it was, I only signed for 50,000, while high school guys were signing for millions or like 500 grand. Like I signed for next to nothing compared to those guys. But yeah, like I said, it didn't really cross my mind. It was just all right. If I have the opportunity, just go for it, and then if it doesn't work out, I can always go back to school. Like I always thought school was going to be there for me. Maybe it's an extra 4 years when I'm 30 years old or something like that, but it was always going to be there.
Yeah, and let's go into the minor leagues here. I mean, I'm looking at your numbers here, and I mean, you had to get piss tested at some point. I mean, you went from 4 home runs to 3 to 6 to 9 to 16 and to 21 at like 3/4 of the year in AAA. Explain this power surge to the people. Was it like a change in your stance? Was it a change in mindset, mentality? Like, how do you go from hitting 4 home runs in your first year, albeit in a decently smaller chunk of at-bats, to 21 in AAA? Like, how does that make sense? How does that happen?
It was definitely a lot of things all thrown into one. I mean, I was 18 when I first got drafted, so like I wasn't the biggest guy, and my maturity level wasn't at its peak. But I mean, I definitely made some swing changes throughout the years. I mean, if you look at my swing throughout all 6.5 years I've been in the Blue Jays organization, I have a different swing throughout every year. Like it's funny because like I'm like known for changing my swing and tinkering it a lot, whether it's like game to game or month to month. Like it's different on a lot of videos that you'll look up of me. But I mean, that's just the way I do it because sometimes my hands feel different in one spot, and I'm like, okay, I need to change something because it feels awkward, that so if it's one day or not. But I think just because I got a lot of stronger. I mean, I got older. I'm 24 years old, so like, if I didn't get any stronger, then that's on me. But I went to a toe tap this year, kind of a month into the season. I thought my timing was off a little bit, and I feel like the toe tap kind of helped me get into my legs a little bit more, and I think that kind of helped me lift the ball and hit it a little bit harder than I'm used to. So that kind of helped the home run side of it, but it also helped my timing. That was the whole point of it, and the home runs kind of just came with it.
And let's go. I mean, so obviously, like I said, you're putting up decent numbers early in your career when you're younger and stuff like that. At what level did you truly have the mindset where you're like, holy shit, man, like I actually think I can make the major leagues, or I have a really good chance here to make the dream that I had when I was a kid a reality? Because obviously they're not like escalating you through levels. Like you're playing in A, you're playing like you're playing in every single one. So at what point for you when you were having success were you like, I have a really good shot here, I have a really good chance to play professional baseball, like to play in the show? Sorry.
To be honest, it was just this year. I mean, because literally I got called up August, I think 4th. I think I found out, and
Yeah,
then
I broke the news.
literally,
People forget that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I gotta ask, how did you find out about that?
It's
Because
I
like
don't
okay,
I
because
don't
I saw
reveal
it
the
on
sources.
Twitter.
Just know Johnny Sources is in the clubhouse. Just know I'm that guy.
I saw it on Twitter. I was in the car going to the airport, and I saw your tweet, and I was like, did I like tell anyone? Like, am I gonna get into trouble or something like this? But it was just funny, that everyone on Twitter was kind of just like hashtag Johnny Sources, and I thought that was the funniest thing. So I got a kick out of that. But yeah, like last year, the first week of August, I got put on the development list when I was in AA, and so I was like, damn, this kind of sucks. Like, and so the development list is like you don't play, you're on the roster, but you just sit the whole week. And so at that point, I was like, damn, this year is kind of washed. But then after I got put off of that, I kind of just went on like a hitting spree. I was batting like 230 in AA, and then I got it up to like 290 within like um, 3 weeks. Like I was hitting really well. Then I got promoted to AAA. I did all right there in the beginning, and then it wasn't really until this year when I was batting like 270 where I'm like, okay, this is possible, because I wasn't on the 40 man at the time, so it's kind of tough to get called up when you're not on the 40 man.
Yeah.
And so, it wasn't really until this year where I was like, okay, in the back of my mind, this could really happen. I just got to keep going, keep swinging, and keep trusting what I'm doing right now, and hopefully it'll pay off.
Yeah, no, it's an insane story, obviously, like everyone knows and stuff like that. But when let's talk about the call up. So obviously I broke it the day of, but I'm actually retired because uh someone texted me in the organization, and it's a player, and he said, you're breaking this way too early where players just don't know if they're getting sent down. Like they don't have any of that stuff. So I kind of felt bad. Obviously, that's not my intentions. Like nothing I say should be taken serious. I'm just a joke. Like I just joke online. But
Yeah.
that kind of put it into reality for me. So I was like, I'm done. I'm retired 4-0. I broke the Hagen Danner one. I broke the Horwitz one. I broke the ear one, and that's it for me. 4-0. That's it. But
That's
I need
undefeated.
I need to go into like the call up, because obviously it's an emotional moment, especially you as a 28th rounder. Like you said, you're a blue collared guy. I'm assuming your family's blue collared. And you get called up to the major leagues, man. I mean, what was the moment like? How did you find out? Did they kind of screw around with you when they told you were getting called up? Like what happened here?
Yeah, so we were in Lehigh. We were on the road, and we were hitting in the cage. Me and Spencer Horwitz were hitting the cage with a hitting coach, Matt Haig. Like any other day, we're just getting our work in early, and our manager Casey comes in, and he wants to talk to Haig. He said that we're going to get another outfielder, like, and so we needed to change the lineup a little bit. So Haig like left, and then I was kind of done hitting, so I kind of was walking out with Haig at the time. And then he was going into Casey's office, and Haig was just, oh, just come with me. It's like, we'll figure out if you're going to play outfield today, because we're getting another player or something like that. And then so I sat down, and then Casey was like, before we talk about the lineup today, I need to ask you something. Um, so one of the front office people called me, um, and he said like a little spiel. I'll keep it between me and him because it was
Yeah.
kind of like a little personal. But the way he said it, it was just like very. I was kind of nervous because he said something to me. I was like really nervous about it, and I didn't really think about anything about the call ups or anything like that, because like there was really kind of no rumors going up from the big leagues or anything like that. Like nothing happened because it was the trade deadline and nothing really
Yeah.
happened anyway. Besides we got Paul, but and then he told me, and then I was like, "Are you effing kidding me? Like don't be lying to me." And then he was like, "Nope." And then me and Hey kind of like teared up a little bit. We kind of hugged, and then I called my parents right away, and they were about to come watch me play because Lehigh is kind of close to where I'm from. And I called them. They started crying. Obviously, my parents are very emotional. And then one of the guys got me. Was like, dude, you got to go to the airport right now. your flight's in like 3 hours, and the
Whoa.
airport's like an hour and a half. So like it happened pretty quick. So I only called my parents. Then my parents kind of called everyone in town and everyone I knew. I was getting texts right away, and I'm like, wow, this is my phone was blowing up like 20 minutes after I found out. So it was pretty cool to kind of share it with my parents first. But they kind of took it harder than me, you know. I mean, I teared up a little bit, but they were bawling their eyes out.
It's crazy, man. I mean, I look at it all the time, like just from a parent's perspective, you raise someone, you know, and next thing you know, they're playing in front of 55,000 or 50,000 people at the Rogers Center 18 or 24 years later. It's hard to comprehend for a normal human being like me, like my dumb brain. That's all I'm really thinking about, just playing in front of 45,000 people. But it really is. It's absolutely absurd. But the craziest part about this entire story about you is that you wanted to quit at one point. And I've been there before. Actually, I did do it. After 2 years of junior college, I just said, I'm done with baseball. How hard was that for you to kind of talk yourself into quitting and then reverse it and just stick with it? Like, how hard was that for you to make that transition of mindsets?
Yeah, so during COVID, we had that year off, and I dealt with like some family stuff. My brother passed away during COVID, so like that was kind of tough on me and my family at the time. And so like having that happen throughout everything, and then have to go play a season. And then once I got to our affiliate in high A in Vancouver, I was playing like once a week. And when I did play, I was literally playing once a week. We played 6 games a week. I played one time every week. And at that point, it sucked going to the field every day, knowing you're not in the lineup, just having to sit on the bench and just kind of just wear it until you're going to be in the lineup. And then whenever I got into playing, I didn't start out too hot. So like I would have an 0 for game, and then I would have to wait 6 more days or 7 more days until I had to play again, which kind of sucked at the time. And then I was batting like 100 through June. I think it was June. And I texted one of my buddies, Dom Ebedesso, you know him.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'm done, because he got released that spring training. And you know, he's like a good friend of mine. So I just texted him. I was like, I think I'm gonna be done with it. Just kind of hang it up, because I'm only playing once a week. I'm doing terrible. And he kind of just texted me and was like, dude, if I was there, I would be all over it. Even if I was playing a pinch runner in the game or something like that, I would be loving it every single minute. So that kind of put it in perspective for me. And he told me just to stick it out. And I did, and I ended up kind of hitting a little bit better once I got in, and I started playing about 2 or 3 times a week at the end of the year, and then I turned in like 4 times a week by the time the year ended. But you know, that year was kind of tough, but I kind of salvaged it at the end, which was really good looking back at it. But during it, I was like, this is miserable. I want to go home. I'm on the West Coast, and my family, I can't see my family, and it was just a bad couple months. But you know, I'm glad I stuck it out, obviously. And you know, I'm kind of grateful for that time, because you look back at it and you put it in all perspective, just because like that was like the worst in my baseball career, but ended up being a good thing for me, you know.
Well, the thing is, and what makes it so interesting is like you see this, and this is just the politics of baseball, right? I mean, you're a 28th rounder, not much invested into you. You're not like a massive asset for them at that time. They're going to give the first rounders, the second rounders, all those type of reps. Have you tried to talk around the clubhouse with your story? And like, is it hard for guys like Vladdy or Bo or all these massive names to like comprehend and understand that you like where you came from, or any of the like, have any of the players on the team kind of gravitated to your story or asked you about your story or anything along those lines?
Not really. I mean, I remember in spring training, we had kind of like had a meeting with some of the big league guys like Witt, Vladdy, and Bo kind of all talked to us. And Witt was kind of like not in the same boat as me, but he was kind of like a later round draft pick. He kind of had to work his way up through the organization. He wasn't the top guy. So that kind of gravitated towards me when he told me that story. But like no one really, once you're there, they kind of just focusing on winning. They don't really care. Yeah, they're all the same. They don't care where you come from. The number one goal is to win every single game, and what you got to do to help the team win. So like at first they were like, you know, it's a cool story and everything, but once it's time to try and go out there and win, then you know, they don't really care.
Yeah, exactly. Before we go into the run that you're on right now, I got to ask you this question, because like I said on another podcast I always love to ask this to the big leaguers. What is the biggest difference for you off the field from the minors to the show? Tyler Glasnow said it's the water pressure. Tyler Matzik said it's just always having access to hoodies, t-shirt, like whatever you want. It's in your locker when you get to the field, like anything. A lot of people say it's the meals, like the hotels, like what is the biggest difference from you, especially as a blue collar guy, from like the minor leagues to living lavish in the show?
I mean, it's definitely all the things you just said for sure. But the number one thing for me is happened the other day. I'm like running low on bats, and I get through bats. I get bats through my agent and everything like that. But you can get bats through the Blue Jays too. And I'm like, I'm always afraid to like ask for stuff. And Nathan Lucas was like, dude, just go ask for bats. Like they don't care. Like it's free. And so I just asked for bats, and then like I needed some lizard skins too, and like, can I get lizard skins too? And they're like, yeah, dude, you don't want to ask. Just don't be shy. Like, just give, like, this is our job. Like, we'll give it to you. Like, it's not that big a deal. And can I just like hate asking people for like stuff or people to do stuff for me? But that's like the coolest thing about it is that like, there's always a person for something up here. Like, if you need something, just ask, and they don't really care at all like that. So like, that's probably the biggest thing. Also, there's food everywhere, like snacks. There's like 3 meals that like the food is unbelievable.
It's wild. It's like I
Yeah.
still can't comprehend it. Like for example, when I went to go to Philly to see to visit Bryson Stott and those guys down there, I went into the family room, and even the family room is like, where the fuck am I? It's just a shit ton of just like insane food, whatever you want, beers, everything. It's absurd, like just how different it is. Because I went to go visit. I visited Bryson at every single level, so I got to see like the come up of like the family section, all that type of stuff. It's just absurd. Did your family notice that too as well? Like even getting to experience like the family stuff, or going down onto the locker room and all that type of stuff. Like what's been your family's reaction from like the off field stuff?
It's pretty cool. My sisters have been like just all over Instagram and social media. How like the fans kind of like are dressing up like me. They think that's like the coolest thing ever. Like they're wearing the glasses and
I'm telling you, man, I
like,
think it was your sisters that DM'd us because they tried to order our shirts, and I'm like,
yeah, I think it was.
A family member of the Schneiders is not going to pay for a Gate 14 Schneider shirt. Are you kidding me? So yeah, we'll get you that going a little bit down. I'll order you a decent amount. You just tell me the sizes, and we'll get those for you and the fam. But it is, dude. I've never seen anything like this. Like I really, as I've rooted the Jays my entire life, I haven't seen a come up like this before. So let's go into the first game for you. First at bat, Fenway Park, one of the most historic stadiums in maybe North America, right? That and Wrigley Field. You come up and you just launch a middle-in fastball over the left field fence like it was nothing. Was that, obviously it was an out-of-body experience for you, but what was your approach going into the bat? Were you just saying, I better hit this fucking base? Like, what was going into that? Because it's an insane thing to do, especially as your first at bat.
Yeah, so the good thing about it was that I faced Paxton about like 5 times before when he was rehabbing earlier in the year. And so like having the familiarity of kind of facing a guy you already know in the big leagues is kind of pretty huge, because like you already kind of know what he's going to throw and his velo and everything like that. So going into that was kind of pretty big for me. But he threw a lot of fastballs the last time I faced him, and he's a kind of a fastball pitcher.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, he hung a slider and I hit it out. But like I was looking fastball out over the plate and ended up hitting a slider. And it's one of those swings where you don't even remember you swung. It was just like everything was just perfect at the perfect time. And I swung and I knew I hit it really good. But I mean, I kind of had to look at it and just make sure it go over the fence. And it was just the best thing about the homer and everything was just seeing everyone up on their feet in the dugout. I see like Kiermaier.
I have chills
Gaussman,
watching that still,
Laddie.
man.
It like seeing those guys when I was around in second was the coolest thing ever, because I looked up to those guys. You watch those guys on TV growing up, like Kiermaier playing in the playoffs, Vladdy, all these guys, and it's cool being on the same field and then cheering you on at the same time. It was the coolest thing, and it still hasn't really sunk in for me personally yet, just because you're here with them, and I think until after the season's done where it's really going to hit me and I can look back at it and be like, damn, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little piece of, I'm not Johnny Advice guy. I'm just name dropping here. So I had, like I said, I had Edwin Jackson, who's obviously a Grizzlies vet, obviously massive Grizzlies vet on the podcast. And I asked him, like, what's one thing you would give a piece of advice to the younger guys? And he said when he was at like your stage in the career, like early in the career, he wishes that he took more steps back, like take a step back and understand where he is, like kind of appreciate where he's at, and like just he said he used to always, before every start, just look around the stadium and just be like, I'm here, you know, like, I know it might not be a good approach for some people, but for some people it is, especially a guy where you came from and all that type of stuff. But yeah, that's what Edwin Jackson told me, is he wished he did that a little bit more when he was younger, and just kind of looked around and just like realized, like, man, I'm fucking here, you know, like and obviously that I'm supposed to be here, right? Like that's the biggest thing is obviously, like you said, you look up to all these guys on your team and stuff like that. But I think what separates you is you have the mindset where you're like, I'm supposed to be here, right? Like, is that something that you've kind of the way you've kind of approached it so far?
For sure. I mean, I always thought I was talented enough and capable of getting here, but you never really know that until it happens. And then once you're here, it just feels like, you're just part of the team now, and like you deserve to be here. And so I just, you got to keep performing, obviously, and keep, putting in good numbers, and everything will take care of itself. But like, I always thought I should be here. And like I said, I was very capable of getting here. But, you know, Whit told me to, like what you said about Edwin Jackson, that like look around, go out like in the sixth inning, kind of look around. And I did that before the game too, before my first start. And I just, I was so nervous, and like, butterflies in my stomach. I didn't, what to expect, because everything leading up before that was more nerve wracking than the actual game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like the media, and just like the pressure, and just like kind of the anxiety leading up to the game. But once you step foot on the field, I mean, it kind of take care of itself. Playing the other day in the Rogers Center during the Bautista ceremony, that whole game, like there was 43,000 fans there, but you not saying I got used to it, but once you're like in the game and you're kind of focused and locked in, it doesn't feel as though there's many people out there than you really think,
Yeah.
because you're just out there on the field and kind of just trying to do your job at that point.
For sure. And this is one thing that I've been saying on the podcast, because obviously all of our listeners want to buy your jersey and stuff like that, and I'm telling them to hold off. We got to talk about the number, man. I know you're going to say, oh, I'll take any number in the show, whatever it is. What are we doing here with 36? Is that going to get switched up? Like, that has to, right? Like, what are we thinking here with the number 36?
That's the thing. People ask me that, and I'm like, it's my first number in the major league, so like I have to stick with it, right? Like I don't like number. I don't really care. I mean, like obviously I had a number growing up. I wore number 7 my whole life and everything like that. But numbers and everything, like I could really care less. But like 36 is not a bad number. It could have been worse. Could have been like 82 or 71 or something like that. At least I got like a lowest number to where
yeah,
it's close to 34 or 44 or something like that. So like if you look at it like that, then it's like, all right, it's not bad.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And going into the like the trainer stuff and all that type of stuff, what was like the training staff like when they saw you roll in with that glove you're rocking? I mean, obviously the story blew through social media and all that type of stuff, and I kind of made an excuse for you on the podcast, because obviously when you're like a big time prospect, you're part of a big time agency, all that type of stuff, you just get a shit ton of gloves sent to you. So I said, Schneider, there's just no way he just had a shit ton of like pro preferred sent to him on his doorstep in the minors. So he's rocking with the old stuff. But how, like, what's the deal here with this glove? Are you gonna go full Troy Tulowitzki mode with this thing and just wear it until you're dead, or like where are we going at?
That's the thing. I get a lot of hate on it. Not hate, but just like, why don't you just use a new glove? I'm like, why do I need a new glove every single year? I'm like, why do people need like new stuff? Like, why can't this work every single time? And that's how I break in gloves anyway. I like the floppy look. I like how it kind of closes like on the pinky or on the pointer finger and the thumb. So I'm like, I don't really need anything else. Yeah, I have a backup glove, but like, I don't need new stuff or anything like that. I mean, if it works, it works. That's the way I look at it.
That's why the people are relating to you like crazy, man. I mean, I don't know what your social media has been like. I don't know if you're really heavily involved on Instagram and stuff like that, but I'm assuming it's just been absurd. Like, do you just not? Are you just not signed into like Twitter and Instagram? I can't even imagine what your social media is like, has been like, the DMs, the insane amount of support, all that type of stuff. Like, how wild has it been?
It's been pretty nuts. I deleted Twitter like I have it on like my Safari, but I deleted the app on my phone. I sign in once in a while, but like Twitter, I don't really.
Let me control. I asked that to
anymore.
Danny Jansen. I wanted to control Danny Jansen's Twitter. He said, "Fuck no." But
No,
you need.
I
you
don't
need
know. I don't remember the last time I even tweeted a tweet. Obviously, I like stuff and retweet stuff, but like me personally, I don't remember the last time I actually tweeted something. And but like Instagram, I mean, I go on Instagram, throughout the day, but like it's been, so I had like 3,000 followers. Now I have like 14 something. So like the followers have definitely jumped up, and it's kind of overwhelming at times, like I said, but it's pretty cool.
Because you being like a guy, like, I mean, you walking on the street and stuff like that, has that been the biggest adjustment? Like, not even playing in the major leagues has been like just the insane amount of recognition you get wherever you go been the hardest adjustment for you? Because obviously, like you said, like last year this time, if you're you could have sat wherever and you could like never get bothered. Now I'm assuming if you're at a restaurant, or I had people tweet, like DM us that, oh, David Schneider's at this restaurant I'm at right now, I don't want to ask him for a picture. Like, how crazy has that been for you?
It's been pretty crazy. I mean, like I said, I'm not a guy who, likes attention or stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
I was walking out of the stadium the other day, and there was just like 30 or 40 people just coming up to me asking for autographs and pictures, which I'm fine with, like no big deal. Like, but like at some point we're like, all right, I gotta go. And I hate like saying no to people. You know what I mean? Like I hate saying, oh, I gotta go, and like missing, and a fan gets upset or something like that. But like that part has kind of been a little bit more than I expected, because like, everything happened so fast. A week and a half ago, I was in Lehigh Valley playing against the Phillies. And so like having that aspect, like the fame aspect, and people just come up to me, it's cool at some point, but you know, there's to an extent where okay, it's kind of not annoying, but just like I need to go, or got to get somewhere else. You know
That
what I
makes
mean?
it. Have you had a moment where you kind of not went full fanboy, but you were facing someone, or you were like in the box against someone on the mound where you're like, holy shit, this is so and so on the mound, or holy shit, this is whatever at the plate. Like, have you had a moment like that yet?
Um, Not yet. I think when we play the Phillies this week, because I grew up a Phillies fan,
Oh, really?
and
Okay.
yeah, so probably when we either play against Harper or Stott, or not. Harper is probably the number one, because like he's like Philly, he's like a Philly god, and
Yeah.
so that's going to be pretty cool playing against them and everything like that. So, but I mean, the number one guy that I would definitely fanboy would probably be Trout. I mean, he's from Jersey. He's from like
Yes.
25 minutes from me. He was my favorite player growing up. He's kind of like why I wore 27 in AAA this year. But he's like my number one guy on the list. If I could ever play against him, I would definitely ask for an autograph for sure.
Oh, so you do that. You'll ask the clubby to get you an autograph from that
I
other.
mean, if it's Trout, I would ask him
Okay.
personally. I'd be like,
Because
if I ever see him
Bryson
on
has an
base.
autograph collection just full of like Miggy, all these legends that he's faced and stuff like that. So you would catch yourself doing that if it's like a Hall of Fame type of guy, like a Miguel Cabrera maybe, or is it just Mike Trout or bust for you?
It would probably just be Trout. I mean, I don't want to bother like anyone else, but Trout's from my home state. He lives, like I said, like 25 minutes from me. So I grew up kind of idolizing him. So that would be pretty cool. Kind of try to get something from him.
Who's the hardest pitcher you faced so far in your career? I mean, you have faced some hard guys, man. I mean, obviously, and you're at bats, by the way. We call Brandon Belt the cock on this podcast. You kind of, I mean, I posted a picture of Brandon Belt and you, but like, it was Donaldson and Bautista together on the field together. That's what you guys are like. You just work every count, you get deep in every single count, and you're kind of like a motherfucker to play against, bro. It's hard to get you out. So, who's like the hardest pitcher you faced so far? Where he's like, this guy has me red.
Um, I mean, I haven't faced like too many guys yet, but the walk I guess Merriweather the other day, he was pretty good. I ended up walking obviously, but his stuff was pretty good. I mean, I sorted twice against him the first two pitches. I mean, he kind of threw two sliders down in the dirt, and I kind of just whiffed at him. But probably Merriweather so far. I mean, he throws 98, 99 with a 91-mile-an-hour slider and a good changeup. So like his stuff is pretty good.
Yeah, he's insane. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
former. Did you ever cross? Did you ever cross paths with him?
Yeah, I mean, he was with the Jays. He would rehab when we were like in extended and like I think 19. So like I got to play on the same field as him, which was cool. And so I don't know if he remembers me or not. I doubt it, but yeah, we played on the same team together. Not officially, but like in extended and spring training we did.
So what's that clubhouse dynamic like? I mean, all the guys say it's like the best. Like Bassett even said on the podcast, it's like just the best locker room, the best group of guys he's ever played with, and stuff like that. What's it been like for you as like that new guy? I know Bassett told a funny story of Brandon Belt walks up to rookies and says like, you're not going to be here for a long time, right? Did you have that interaction with Brandon, or like, well, what's it been like?
No, he didn't do that to me, thankfully. I would have probably shit my pants if he said that to me. But these guys are awesome. I mean, they're very energetic. They want to win. They like to have fun. I mean, like they were just a great group of guys to be around. Like they don't really big league people. You know what I mean? Like I'm the rookie and the new guy, but they really haven't really kind of like, made me feel like I wasn't part of the team or anything like that, which is great because, you hear things from like different teams or like, hazing or stuff like that, but they haven't done that with me, which is, I'm really grateful for that. I mean, they could have, and I wouldn't have cared. I would be like, oh, I'm the rookie, I'm part of it, but they've been great to be around. They're awesome. They're nice. Like I said, they like to have fun, and the number one thing they want to win. Like that's the biggest thing, and you don't really fans don't really get to see that like outside, but they're very competitive. Like, and they really get into like their work and everything like that. So yeah.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, and also like another thing, who's one guy you've kind of gravitated towards, or one guy that's not taking you under your wing, but like a veteran guy, though that's a two-part question, I guess. Like who's a veteran guy also that has like kind of helped you out or just kind of made it easier for you so far in the show that relates to you or just gave you some good knowledge or good tips?
I mean, everyone really. I mean, like Bassett has been talking to me like on the bench, and like I've been asking, like kind of picking his brain on like his experience with the Mets and A's and just pro ball in general. So that was cool, kind of hear
Mhm.
from him. He's a really good guy, and everyone kind of really Jano, Witt, KK. I mean, literally every single guy. I mean, they love to talk. They kind of make me feel like, all right, you can ask me anything and I won't get annoyed. You're part of the team, like you know what I mean. So, I mean, but probably Witt or Bassett. I kind of like just they kind of put me under the wing a little bit and just made me feel like I was part of the team like pretty early on. So which was pretty cool to see.
So what's the so obviously, I mean, we're talking about the clubhouse music with Bassett. We're talking about Matty Chapsticks running it. What are you big on the music there? Like, where are we at with this? Like, are you running it, or are you having a good time? Like, do you like the music that Matt Chapman's been playing? I'm not trying to get you in trouble here, but like, are you a big like house music type of guy?
No, I like it. I literally said that yesterday after we won, and even before that, I'm like, whoever's on aux is pretty good. I didn't even know Chapman even ran the aux, so I'm gonna to tell him that he's doing a good job. But he plays a variety of different types of music, which is good because I don't really stick with the one genre or anything like that. So he kind of mixes it up and plays Latin music sometimes, plays American house music, EDM, whatever country, and so he kind of makes it feel like everyone's a part of the whole music taste, which is
That's
good because
electric.
we have all different types of music goers on this team. So
That's absolutely
sure.
electric. That is
Yeah.
absolutely electric. Chapman just seems like the best dude ever, man. I mean, he is just, and a couple guys have said this, like Ernie actually said this, where he watches him like field like ground balls and like practice stuff like that, and they're just like, this guy is insane. Have you got to like watch him or just try to mimic some of the stuff that he does? Because it is absurd. I mean, we're talking a platinum glove third baseman here. So does it also put you in shock just watching like Matty Chapsticks just field ground balls and just lace them across the diamond?
He makes it look so easy that it's like, why can't everyone do this? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's that easy to him. But he works his ass off. That's what people don't really kind of like understand is that he puts in the work and it pays off on the field. And so, but looking at him field, I take stuff from him, like what he does with his hands and his footwork and everything like that, which is good for me because I can take all the help I can get. But yeah, it's cool to see just like a guy who had crazy success in the major leagues fielding wise and look at what he does pregame and like what he does on the field. It's cool to take stuff from him and kind of put it into my work as well.
what
You know,
position do you prefer personally? Like, are you more comfortable with? And I know, obviously, I don't know if that's even a good question, but is there a position out there that you truly feel like 100% more comfortable in, or you just feel like more at home with?
definitely second. I mean, because it's where I played most of the time this year. I played a little bit. I played a lot of left this year, but I mean, I'm not a true outfitter. I mean, I'm an infielder playing outfield, but I mean, I've gotten really comfortable out there. So I'm not saying I'm not comfortable, but second base is where I like to be,
Have
just
you had any
because
fuck ups though? Have you had any fuck ups in left field? Like just even from like learning it, like even in the minors where you just misread a pop up or go back on an in pop up or anything like that?
not this year, but there was one time last year early on. I literally lost it in the lights and I literally just dropped it, hit my glove, and I felt like, damn. And so that kind of messed with my head a little bit. And then a couple games later, I was playing left again. And me and my center fielder, Garrett Spain at the time, we were like kind of going in together to catch a fly ball, and it was my ball, but I never called for it. And I just said, you, take it, because I was just afraid to drop it again. But like, obviously now I'm perfectly fine out there. But that was just like a couple times where I'm like, damn, this is gonna be tough, and I'm gonna have to practice a lot more to get better at it.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
this year, it's been good out there. I mean, I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm an outfielder now. You know what I mean? Just because I got a lot more reps, and it's a lot easier to kind of just read balls just because you're used to it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really get that many reps last year in the beginning of the year, but now it's my second home basically.
Yeah, and this is the second last thing that I want to talk about here. So I'm a Davis Schneider guy. Obviously, I understand the marketing, all that type of stuff. You're wearing a Fleetwood Mac shirt. I say one game, you just run it, go landslide for your walk-up song. I mean, you want to talk about getting the people going. That, like, if you want to get the crowd going, just you right at the start was I took my love. That part would go bananas out of sold out Rogers Center. Just think about it.
I do that for sure. Now that you say that, I'll probably do it. But like, I didn't write down my walk-up song for the day the other day, or the game the other day, but it was my walk-up song in AAA for a couple of days, but I switched it back to my other one. But they just used that one for some reason. But I think I'm going to switch it. And now that you say landslide,
listen, I'll be in the building tomorrow. If you're playing tomorrow, the next day, I'll be at both games, obviously visiting my guy. I need to hear landslide. I mean, it would be, and all of our listeners will post it. It'll get the people going. That would go absolutely nuts on the speakers, dude. Absolutely nuts. So let's just something to think about, man. You got to get the people going.
Now that you say it, it's actually a pretty good idea. So I'm going to put it in my notes, and I'm going to write it down, and then hopefully they use it tomorrow if I'm in. So we'll see.
Love to see that. So that's the last thing I want to go into. Obviously, going into the later part of the year, all that type of stuff. Games are starting to mean more. I mean, you're in a big playoff race here, all that type of stuff. What is the expectations for you for the rest of the year? Like, do you set goals, or is your goals just I want to compete every single day, keep on mustering good at bats? I mean, you're on the loose, man. Your at bats are fun to watch. Like I said, you and Brandon Belt Brandon Belt, every single count he's in is 3-2. It's like the most absurd thing I've ever seen. So, like, what's some of the goals that you have for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, probably just compete every day. I mean, don't take a day for granted. You know, the next day I could be sent down to AAA or whatever. You know, you just gotta make sure that you go in there and do what you do, or just take advantage of what you have today and just kind of run with it, because you know the next day isn't guaranteed. So like, you just got to make sure you're just putting in the work 100%, and then just because you don't want any regrets in this game. Because if you look back and regret something you did or didn't do, then you're kind of you're just gonna regret it for the rest of your life, basically. So like, just put in the work, and hopefully it pays off. You know, that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, man. I mean, we'll be in Cincy this weekend. Me and Avery
awesome.
And a couple of my buddies will be driving down for there. So I'm pumped to see you, man. Keep doing your thing, man. It's been surreal. Like I said, I've been a fan of this team my entire life. I haven't seen intro like this. I haven't seen a run like this. Obviously, I haven't seen it in baseball. I mean, you broke a record for a reason for it. So keep doing your thing, man. Keep swinging it. And you know, you have Gate 14 Nation on your side. You know, you have all of our fans on your side. So appreciate you coming on this, man. Long time coming. I'm excited for you, and let's have ourselves a fucking rest of the season. Why not? Why not us?
Dude, exactly. Thanks, man. I appreciate having me on. That was fun.
All right. There you have it, folks. That was the interview with Davis Schneider. Avery, you haven't listened to it yet, right? So you don't have a gauge on it?
No, I'm going to listen to it with the people tomorrow when I put it out by myself. I could have listened to it before and
Man of integrity
into it as well. But I want to be commenting on the YouTube like the people should be doing after they listen to it as well.
It was fun. It was a fun pod.
You had nothing but good things to say about him. So I'm excited to listen to it again. Again, thank you to David Schneider for coming on.
Yep.
Gate 14 guy forever now.
Forever. Till I'm sick. I listen. He gave me enough happiness in a weekend that can last me till the end of the year. I'll always rooting for that guy. He was texting me after, all that type of stuff. So just the salt of the earth guy. We're cracking jokes, just shooting texts. So I'm excited for people to listen to it. They already did listen to it. Sorry, that was dumb for me to say. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it gave you a little bit of a different perspective, a different outlook on the legend of Davis Schneider. It was awesome. So let's cut it to the let's get into the talk here, Ave. I mean, Bryson was in town Went out for breakfast with him on Tuesday, and I'll tell you a funny story. So I told Bryson via text before I saw him. I said, don't, like, if you think you're paying for breakfast, you got another thing coming. And then he just responded, shut the fuck up. So we get to breakfast and we order our stuff, and I go up to the waitress. I pretend I'm getting a phone call to Bryson. So I pretend I get a phone call. So I walk up and I just go to the waitress. I'm like, here's my card, like just pay for the whatever. Or like just pay for this pay for the breakfast. She's like, oh, okay. Like, kind of weird, but all right. So then I go back to Bryson. I'm like, 1-0 alpha. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I just paid for the breakfast. He's like, you motherfucker. But whatever. So yeah, I just alphaed him from there. And you got to meet him for the first time in person. What were your thoughts on Bryson?
Second time. We met on the field before.
Oh, okay. Yes, you did. Yeah.
Not after we had played COD together, but he's a good guy, funny guy, actually. Accent, he doesn't sound like a Vegas accent. It's more of a, I think he has more of like a Southern accent. Actually.
Yeah, his family's from Louisiana.
There you go. There it is. No, he's a good, funny guy. And just having a hell of a year. Would love for it to be in a Blue Jays uniform, but you can't always get what you want, right, Johnny?
I remember actually on draft day when the Jays were 2 picks ahead, he actually kind of thought he might have been going there. So when they said Alek Manoah, I just remember I made a scene in that room. I just threw my hat and I was just like, fuck. And everyone was like laughing and shit like that. It was a little bit of what's that word? Comic relief. I gave him a little comic relief, the family. But anyways, he obviously went to Philly. Great situation for him. Great scenario. He's playing with one of his best friends, Bryce Harper. But yeah, he's just a great dude, man. I mean, and we talked about this when we were walking back to Altos. He's just on like the different spectrum of like a lifestyle of like what we're at. He's 26, obviously a millionaire, multiple cars, fiance, has a kid on the way, and then there's me and you and Alto. just they're just vibing. But
he's a 97, right? Like,
yeah, he's a 97.
Yeah. That is crazy.
97.
Just what people are dealing with at different points of their lives. But you make sense. Like, all the guys on the team you said they're like 10 people having kids right now. So it's just, they're in the groove, I guess, of the Philadelphia Phillies just having kids.
Yeah, like he said they had a baby shower a couple of weeks ago, and everyone was just pregnant there. It was like, whose baby shower is this? It's like everyone is pregnant. So that is funny. But yeah, and also like just the vibe for that, like, and he even mentioned this too. It's like when every single person on your team is like married with kids, I'm not saying he had FOMO, but I'm just saying you kind of feel like left out, where you're like, everyone's like spending time with their kids. Like, not a lot of people are going out. There's not many single people on the team. So it's just like you're a product of your environment, where everyone's obviously that type of stuff. That was really smart by me to actually bring that up. That was credit to me for mentioning product of environment. But yeah, no, he's the best, man. And it's awesome to see him have success. I know he's a baller. Obviously, if you look at his Las Vegas stats, UNLV stats, they're absolutely fucking absurd. So it was good to see him, man. It was good to see him. Obviously, I've been boys with him for like seven years now, I want to say. So it's just surreal to see a guy like that just absolutely rake, and see Bryson Stott jerseys when I go to Citizens Bank, when we were at the Rogers Center. It'll never not be weird. So rockstar shit.
It was nice. It's nice for him to have a good year this year, because Joe Girardi kind of liked to fuck up his year last year.
Yes.
Pretty much what
John Schneider does with the rookies on this team. That's pretty much the same thing. It is wild. But another thing, everyone's tweeting at me, by the way. They want Johnny Junta McCook jerseys. I would die for one. Like, I actually want to reach out to my old coach and be like, John, name a price. I don't give a fuck. I want a McCook jersey bad, like real bad. I would die for a McCook jersey, because those jerseys is just like, I would love to have it behind me. Like, just like the sick McCook jerseys. Obviously, you with a Newman jersey, or I guess Laurentian, but Laurentian would kind of suck. The Newman jerseys kind of rule. But I need the McCook jersey, and I do have a McCook camo hat upstairs. Maybe if we do a Gate 14 auction, we can get that going.
I have a Newman hat as well. I think if we get like a studio ever, those two jerseys need to be hanging up. Like, we need.
Yes.
That's what has to happen.
Didn't
you guys have like camo T-shirts for jerseys?
No, we never had camo. Not when I was there. Our jerseys are away our home jerseys. were like blue camo.
Yeah.
It was like black and it was like dark blue and light blue camo. Those jerseys fucking rocked. But yeah, I'd love to get one. John Olson, if you're listening, or I know there's a couple of McCook guys in this that are listeners of this podcast. You can finagle my guy J.O. for a McCook June to 23 jersey, but there's no last name on the back. I'm not going to get greedy. Just give me June to 23. Just give me 23. Sorry, just give me 23.
Yeah. Would he ever come on the pod?
I think he would. I think he has loosened up enough where he has.
Would an assistant coach be better to get on?
No, because I never had an assistant coach there for 2 years. It was only 1 year and 1 year. So in the second year, we didn't really have an assistant coach. It was just John. Like, it was just our coach there, and then like just like the student helper that was like worked in the dorms. But I would love to get John Olson on the podcast. Maybe in the off season we'll do it. So give some content out. Just hear some stories about what it was like with me playing for him, because I'm sure he has a decent amount of stories.
I think
I don't even remember.
I could get my coach to come on as well.
Well, yeah, that'll be a funny content piece for like the off season. Just like obviously not now with the playoff push the Jays are going through, but definitely in the off season that would be funny. I would actually love to do a vlog, and if we start getting more sponsors, stuff like that on the show, I'd love someone to sponsor us to go back to like just to meet, like to do a vlog at McCook. that would be fucking sick.
So I'm going back to Wichita for the first time in September.
Yeah.
If you think I'm not going to that field taking a pic, the house that Avery built, you're crazy.
I promise I never go back to McCook because I was miserable there. But I've talked myself into it. Maybe I should. Maybe I should go back to McCook and just get a feel for what it was like, man.
Well, I need to ask why they haven't changed their name yet.
Well, I mean, it's in the Midwest. You think they're the politically correct boys down there, Avery?
No, I don't think they are at all.
They would never change that. But it would be funny. We should definitely do that. And we're getting close to that crunch time now. Everyone's starting to show up to their community college. All of our listeners starting to show up there, sending us tweets and all that, and DMing us stuff like that. So it's getting the fun point. Just obviously listen to this podcast when you're feeling down when it gets to Hell Week.
Yeah. When it is. So I had one of the guys I coached go to school in Louisiana, and he texted me that his roommate was also Canadian and turned out to be a big Gate 14 guy. So shout out to all the kids getting to school right now. Crunch time. Enjoy the process of some of the shittiest baseball you've ever had to deal with in your life.
Yes. Enjoy it, love it, learn it, need it. But yeah. Another thing.
If not, we'll see you at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we'll see you at Thanksgiving. Just like I almost quit halfway through McCook, but that's a story for another time. Actually, I guess we can go into that. We have really nothing to talk about in this podcast besides 2 games.
But first year or second year?
So first year at McCook, I was raking in the fall, but I was miserable because I just hated the running. I hated like these stupid fucking workouts we did. So idiot boy Johnny reached out to Pratt Community College.
This is awesome.
Idiot boy Johnny reached out to Pratt Community College, who recruited me when I was in high school. And I was like, listen, man, like, I'm not happy here at McCook. Like, what are the chances I can hop on second semester there? And I didn't know this on McCook. I didn't know this, but you got to get a release from the junior college. So the coach reached out to John, like J.O., and was like, why are your players reaching out to me? So J.O. took a meeting with me. He's like, I need to have a meeting with you. And we had a meeting, and he pretty much just ripped me apart. He's like, you fucking went behind my fucking back, and you're trying to recruit yourself with other guys. Like, I should pull your fucking scholarship right now. And why should we have you here? I should send you home. And I'm crying in this meeting because I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to go now. I don't want to take it away from me. So anyways, I worked around it. I said I would do everything in my power to make sure, obviously, it won't happen again, or like that I won't take it for granted. And the next year I was a team captain. So it was just a weird like halfway point when I got called into that office. I thought I was done. I thought I was on the first flight back here with no education background, had to go to probably fucking, no disrespect, Fanshawe or some shit and start studying there. So yeah, that wasn't great. But enjoy it, man. Enjoy the school. I know, like I said, everyone's going there now. Everyone's starting to enjoy it and making new friends and all type of stuff. But another story that I didn't talk about, weird yesterday, we were at dinner, and the guy that used to play for the Jays, for former like first ranked prospect for the Tampa Bay Rays, Taylor Guerreri, who's a friend of mine, was in an Uber in Kentucky And I get he never tags me, or we don't really talk too much anymore as we used to. And he tags me in his story, and I'm like, what's he tagging me for? And I look at it, and he's in an Uber in Kentucky, and the Uber driver is listening to Gate 14. And I responded to Taylor Guerrero. I just said to him, I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, man, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what's going on here. But it's just those little things, like the little things, they may not mean a lot to a lot of people, but to me, it's just like, that's absurd. That's just the most absurd shit I've ever fucking seen.
That was also like Bryson at dinner when it was me, you, Bryson, Alto, and a guy came over in a Jays jersey and talked to me and you instead of talking to the guy who's the professional athlete.
Yeah, and Bryson was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was funny, man. Yeah, it's cool to see like Bryson at least see like I'm not being just a miserable alcoholic prick over here. So
well, you might be an alcoholic.
Well, yeah, it's good to see Bryson Bryson at least seeing the progress that we're making here. I know he keeps in touch with the tweets I do and stuff like that, so he does enjoy that. But yeah, that's the Gate 14 minute or the multiple minute. That's just us pumping our tires, stroking us off. But it's awesome, man. I mean, every game is meaningful here. It's awesome. So I'm excited for it. But one thing that I do want to talk about from tonight's game that really pissed me off is the auction stuff in the bottom right of the screen the entire game. Now, listen, I'm not Mike Wilner. I'm not against auction, okay? Avery, can you back me up on that? I'm not against auction.
Well, until you put in a bid, I think you might be against them.
Take that back.
Okay, sorry.
Oh my God, the Cubs just hit a 3-run nuke to win the game. All right. Anyway, sorry guys. That's bad radio. But listen,
that's gambling addiction. Back to back.
I want to make that's not me. I told my buddy whale play nuke. I like on the White Sox.
Can you talk about what you did yesterday? Do you want to talk about that?
No. We won't talk about that. But anyways, let's go into some what I was talking about with the auction stuff. The Sportsnet, by the way, they start the fucking game and they put a picture of Edmundo Sosa and say he's Bryson Stott on the TV. And next thing you know, I'm trying to look at the pitch count here in the bottom right of the screen, and they just keep showing the exact same auction items. Like it was wild. Did you notice that, Avery?
I kept seeing I was watching downstairs on my TV, wasn't paying too close attention to that, but I did see that shit come up the whole time. They're just doing their job, trying to get people to donate, man.
Okay.
Do you think it cost them the game?
Yes. But let's go into some auction stuff. Let's go into some funny stuff here, Avery. What is some stuff here that you think the Jays should auction off? Like what's some Gate 14 auctions? Like I'll go one.
Bulls with Kevin Gosman.
Okay. Shrooms and Bulls or just Bulls?
Just Bulls. You get to rip the pregame bowl with Kevin Gosman before he goes out for warm up. Just start your day.
Okay. Anthony Bass church service.
Jerk off with Brandon Belt.
No, see Brandon Belt's dick.
Yes. Someone tweeted that though. Shout out to whoever tweeted that.
That was I wish I could give credit for that. That is one of the funniest tweets I saw the night. We were watching on the stream and I was crying of laughter.
What else can we do? Go out with Pete Walker, like driving lessons with Pete.
Yes, driving lessons with Pete Walker. What's another one? There's some catcher. Hitting lessons with Santiago Espinal. No, with Paul DeYoung. Paul DeYoung hit clinic.
Yeah.
We got to come up with two more. We're rolling on all.
I would have loved a Guillermo hitting lessons too,
but we can't. He's our guy now.
Do you think he would have thought it was funny if we showed up to his hitting clinic and did it?
I actually think we should bring that up to him because we're going to see him in Cincy. I weaseled our way to go out with him in Cincinnati. I'm going to say to him, like, listen, I know you're doing a hitting clinic, Guillermo. What do we got to do to be able to vlog this? Like, I want an exception. I want an exception. Just let the Gate 14 boys, because the picture of me and you on a tee and Guillermo like just telling us what to do would be the funniest fucking picture on the goddamn planet, Avery.
Learning reviews from the
review team.
Yeah. And yeah, I said you get to pick one of the 4 songs the Jays play in rotation between pitches. I think that would be a good auction.
Everybody clap your hands. I'll say this, and this podcast right now, we are buzzing. We're snapping it around, as the kids say. They play Everybody Clap Your Hands. Verbal meme, when everyone's clapping their hands, the Popeyes girl on the bench. Like, I've been clapping my hands for 17 hours. All right. Like, they got to fix that. That is terrible. It's like, I don't know.
They finally, so Blog TO finally wrote the article.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet about it. I said this a couple of weeks ago when I went with my parents. I was sitting right under like the overhang in one of the 100 level sections, and it was right by a speaker, and it was just way too much. It was just ear fucked with noise every pitch.
You were just getting the long dick of the law.
And then I go to Detroit, and you can have a conversation with the person next to you because they're not playing stuff between every pitch. It's just it's not basketball. Like I like in basketball when they play the music as like
but
defense.
That's still crazy too, though. No, like in between dribbles, you hear the like that's crazy.
But I feel like that has an impact at least. If you're maybe getting loud on defense, I know obviously it probably doesn't do anything to those guys, but I feel like a part in basketball and football, say you're making noise on a 3rd down, that feels more important than clapping your hands on a 2-2 pitch in the 5th with runner on 1st and 2 outs. So yeah, I'd love to see this guy go deep, but me clapping for him might actually be hurting our guy at the plate, and these stupid noises might be pissing them off as well. So I'm kind of out on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We gotta be better. But the thing is now, though, Avery, right? Like the Blue Jays are in a weird spot because they can't let the Twitter haters
they can't
win, right? So now I thought they were going to
play
do it.
I thought they were going to play more music now after they got chirped. They were just more every pitch all the time.
Everybody clap your hands.
It's a lot, man.
Oh man. Yeah, that's I guess, man. I don't know, man. It's so loud, it's so fucking annoying, but they can't let them win now. You can't let the people, you cannot let I'm gonna say it again. You cannot let Blog TO win. Now what they're gonna do is, Avery, and you can correct me here, what they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to wait a couple days, like a month maybe, or 2 weeks, and then just eliminate it. And then everyone's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
That's what they're gonna have to do, which sucks, but that's what they're gonna have to do. But,
well, it'll be interesting to see what Cincinnati's like. I'll try and pay attention to it.
Well, it'll be a part of the vlog. I'm so fired up for Cincinnati, dude. Are we going Paris, Texas Thursday night?
No, I can't go to that. I will. You guys all go. Drive to like Milton, pick me up. I'll do the rest of the way.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going unless you're going. That would be the greatest vlog ever. Because then we could do the map from Paris, Texas to Cincy on the vlog. It'd be insane.
Like, I know I'm gonna get banged. I'd rather get banged up in Cincinnati than Paris, Texas.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Another thing that I did want to talk about with the Toronto Blue Jays is, and I know we just had him on, so I'm a little bit biased, is the lack of play with David Schneider. And I will say this though, he's our guy now. He really, like, the high fastball thing is crazy. Like, I don't know if you watch his at bats or you saw his at bat tonight, Avery, or like the previous ones where he was struggling. They just pepper high fastball. It's crazy that how easy. And it goes to show you how hard hitting is in Major League Baseball. Because, how do I say this? Because they have a playbook on you after your first fucking game. Like, he literally had a good weekend, and then it just bang. One for his next, like, whatever it was, like 15 or 14 or whatever. It was something about maybe 1 for 10 or something like that. But like, it is crazy the playbook they have on these guys, Avery. Yeah. Like, just easily. That's why it's so hard to hit. So that's why it's #respect Paul DeYoung.
And yes, exactly. I just see the Cubs walk off. Christopher Morel, jersey off. That's all. I would love to see that. 100%, man. Coaches are good at their jobs. I almost just fell over.
Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
Coaches actually do something sometimes. And when you can execute game plans, things work out for you. It is crazy that they just right away. It was the Gavin Williams start where I really noticed it. And he just fastball high, swing through 3 times in a row. He was out. Hitting in Major League Baseball is fucking impossible. and the guys who are really good at it get paid a lot of money for a reason.
It honestly, and it makes you, when you like hang out with these guys, like we're hanging out with Bryson, I'm like, I can't wrap my head, because he's a good friend. I can't wrap my head around the fact like this motherfucker is hitting 300 in the best league in the world.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And he
also had
spits on
something to
pitches.
say that was interesting about the Rogers Center. First of all, the lights are super bright when they close the dome there.
He did say that. He said
and he said it was really tough to see because he thought the scoreboard is too low.
Yeah, he said the scoreboard was too low, and the way that a lefty like Yusei Kikuchi hides the baseball, Bryson said he couldn't see it until like it was not. Did he say halfway or when it came out of his hand? I forgot what he said, but he said he couldn't, like, Kikuchi was hiding the ball so well, and with the parlaying it with the scoreboard, it's impossible to see. And you saw it tonight. Bryson lost the ball in the lights tonight. Did you see that, Dave?
Yeah.
And the center fielder, Rojas, had to come in and save it. But he did say that. Like, Bryson literally told me that at breakfast. He remembers it. He said this is like, when the dome is closed, it's one of the hardest stadiums besides Tropicana to see a pop fly or to see a line drive. And that's what he thought with the Schwarber misplay, because it was in the lights. So
yeah.
It is why it doesn't make sense. It goes to show you why it's just not a baseball stadium, man.
No,
you know,
no, but that won't be fixed ever. Like that, a jumbotron's not being moved up anytime soon.
Yeah,
but good. We need to use it to our advantage, hopefully.
Yeah, it's just crazy, but yeah. Well, I guess we can start talking about the series now. It's not much to talk about. Yusei Kikuchi, and honestly, man, and with Gossman struggling as he has been tonight, in his last couple starts, honestly, maybe the 6 days rest isn't good for him. Yusei Kikuchi right now is the pitcher that I am confident every single start that he makes, he's going to shove. And if I would have said that to you last year, you would have bitch slapped me in the face. But Yusei Kikuchi having the lowest ERA in baseball since the All-Star break is something that I can still not to this day fathom. It doesn't make sense, Avery.
How many no decisions does he have in that time too?
I don't want to know. It's going to make me mad. It's going to make me mad.
Seattle, no decision, 2 wins in a row, and then 2 straight no decision, or a loss and a no decision.
Giving up 1 run in both those games.
Yeah, he's given up. So let's go through 1 earned run, 1 earned run, 1 earned run, 1 earned run, no earned run, 1 earned run in his last, what is that? 7 appearances or 6 appearances. That's fucking really good. And like the batting average on balls in play, some of these is high as well. He has been an absolute stud. Just absolutely everything you've needed from a guy. And why baseball being such a long season where you have ups and downs, this is just Yusei Kikuchi just taking the pitching staff, just putting him on their backs.
Yeah, just putting him in his Duffy, just verbal.
And it was Kevin Gausman to start this year. Yusei Kikuchi's doing it at the end now.
It's wild. And honestly, Avery, I was talking about this on the radio with the Fan 590 guys last week. Like, how do you justify moving Kikuchi to the bullpen if you make a playoff run?
Yeah, you're not. You
can't now. You're really
not close
can't.
to that.
But who's the odd man out? Because you can't go 4-man rotation. Like, who's the odd man out in that playoff run? Ryu? Okay. Ryu. But you can't even really go 4-man rotation, though. Usually teams go with 3, though, no? Like, I know Bassett's our guy. Like, Bassett out? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just kind of how I can't see Bassett being more effective out of the bullpen. So I think he's a guy who can give you length. I don't see him. Obviously, he can be good out of the bullpen. I don't want him to be there. I think he can give you a lot of innings. And then it's just funny because playoff baseball is so different. The quick hooks are just not even close to the same as they are in regular season baseball. But yeah, like Ryu and Bassett, I don't think are 2 guys set up that well for bullpen work in the playoffs, right? Do you?
No, but see, the thing is, playing devil's advocate.
Only one guy's set up well for that, and it seems
that's what I was just about to say. Playing devil's advocate, Kikuchi is so fucking good out of the bullpen with the stuff that he has, where that's the only guy that you could be like, I'm comfortable throwing this guy that's a former starter out of the pen, right?
Yeah, and that's just that's too idiot try to be big brain to put your best guy you've had in the second half of the season. And it's just not even an option. So we'll get there when we get there, hopefully.
It's just crazy, Avery. I can't like even Bryson said Bryson called him Cy Young to me in the car. We were on the way from breakfast. He was just it's crazy the turnaround. And honestly, man, it's a bargain. And our guy BK made a funny joke like I'll never get over Ross Atkins only locking him up for 3 years. He's only making 12 million this year or 10 million. Like that's a fleecing from Yusei. Like our fleecing from Ross, a common Ross Atkins masterclass. But there wasn't really much to talk about other than Yusei Kikuchi at that game in the bullpen. I mean, this offense or this team in general, when they put up runs like tonight, they're pitching shit. When they don't put up runs, their pitching is fucking absurd. Bubble Biggio legacy. That walk was the walk heard around the world. He quite literally didn't move. It was like the Roger Dorn thing from Major League where he just stands over the plate when he's the old man and just gets beamed to fucking give the team a chance to win. That's what Biggio did. And I want one of our listeners, can one of our listeners do the, and we talked about this with Alto, can one of our listeners do the Moneyball home run video, but just Calvin Biggio getting hit by a pitch and then the ball going over the fence? I need that bad.
Yeah, it was another horrendous offensive game. Just nothing was going.
But it's Zach Wheeler though.
100%. Nathan Lucas though out at the plate, bases loaded, 1 out. You didn't think you were gonna score after kind of gifted that. What was it? 1 single, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch to score a run that wins the game.
But I will say this though, that play by Alec Boehm with the bases loaded was so fucking sick. Absurd. Yeah. Like off balance, sidearm, and Nathan Lucas sliding it. First of all, why are you sliding? Just run through. Like that's what you're kind of taught. Especially with a force out. Like you're taught to just run through because when you slide, I'm not a math guy. I'm not smart enough with science maybe to figure out if that makes sense. But I just know my brain is telling me you shouldn't slide because it deducts the time, right? It makes it slower.
Yeah, so, I thought either run through or head first slide.
Exactly. Option. He that's just a guy that just doesn't have a clue right now. Obviously, he's not playing, so he's not getting game reps. But yeah, it's just that game sucked. It was cool to see Jordy back. That was awesome.
Oh my god, he fucking shoved it down their throat.
He just 99 shoved. But I will say this though, if you got to take this series, I'll take a split as a win, especially with this lineup right now, because folks, we got reinforcements coming in here. Bo Bichette's coming back. Chad Green's coming back. Probably will replace Jay Jackson, who has a pretty decent amount of regression. The Silver Fox is coming back. Kevin Kiermaier is coming back. These are 5 crucial guys to your roster that are going to eliminate the Paul DeJong at bats. They're going to eliminate the Santiago Espinal at bats because Matt Chapman wasn't playing. And by the way, the Matt Chapman injury, what are we doing here? I've been working out for what? Humble, like obviously Doc says I'm buff, so he knows. I've been working out for what since I was like 13. I've never dropped a fucking dumbbell on my hand. Like how uncoordinated do you have to be? And by the way, you're in the show. Get one of those fucking clubbies to just pick up your fucking weights. What are you doing?
I told you, like, if I was our third baseman, I wouldn't get injured like that because I wouldn't work out. So, good for Matt Chapman. It had to be he said he pinched it or something. I had one of my buddies drop away on his foot, break his foot at one point. But Matt Chapman, to miss that many games because of a weight room injury, that's not like a blown out back is unfortunate and a tough look.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I still can't believe that happened. When I got the notification, I was like, come on, bro. Let's see the finger at least. Show us the finger, chapstick. Show us the finger. But it's just the Toronto Blue Jays thing. But I'm just saying, Avery, like, with everyone back healthy, like Chad Green now going to be implemented into that bullpen. He still hasn't given up a run in his rehab, which is Linsanity run. Not really Linsanity because this guy's just good. I cannot wait, and I'm hoping it's this weekend when we're in the building we get to see Chad Green. But apparently it's not. It's going to be in a couple series. But
oh, really?
I can't wait to watch this guy shove, Avery. I can't. He is so fucking good. He's so good, dude.
I am excited to see him in the uniform as well. And again, Bo coming back huge. Kevin Kiermaier coming back huge. I don't know if the Kevin Kiermaier thing coming back is as big of a deal because of how Dalton Varsho's been playing. But again, that's the Davis Schneider at bats go away, right? Because Witt can play second. And even now I'm comfortable with Kevin Biggio getting some at bats, getting some run while he's hot.
Calvin Biggio second on the team, and I believe it is OPS plus since May 26th. I want to say
Second half of the season, you had the best weighted runs created plus. I was doing that today. I was going to.
Oh, you did that? Okay, so you saw because you were going to bet the hits or whatever. Yeah,
No,
let's go into the Calvin Biggio stuff.
do...
Listen, I am a generational. I'm converted. I was a generational Calvin Biggio hater, but because I'm a man of integrity, I'll admit when I am wrong. Let's look at his splits. Last 30 games, hitting 297, 409 on base, 432 slugging. Last 15, 308 average, 449 on base, 410 slugging. Last 7 games, 333 average, 481 on base, 333 slugging. It's time to respect COVID Calvin, folks. It's time to respect COVID Calvin. This is an insane run, Avery. Like this is, I mean, good for our guy. I love to see it. It fires me up. COVID Calvin.
Yeah, it would be nice if my computer was fucking working right now. To see how this stacks up against some of the best runs of his career. But he's been very, very good. And I feel like he's just hitting baseballs hard that we hadn't seen. Clutch at bat again today. Driving in.
Great at bat. Yeah. After some dog shit at bats before that. But not him. Not him dog shit at bats, the players before him. But Calvin Biggio now, it's making Paul DeYoung, get ready to learn Buffalo Ease, brother. Or get ready to learn DFA Ease. This dude is I mean, he's just not going to play when Bo Bichette comes back.
Him and Espinal are unserious.
Like, yes. So what do you do with Paul DeYoung now, though? Like, is he just like the bench platoon bat now where he gets like one at bat a week, maybe?
Yeah, I think
he's going to be miserable. You thought he's miserable now? Wait until he's getting one at bat a week. Get ready to learn bench and ease, Paulie D. Cavs, get ready to learn that shit.
Yeah, so I guess what? Espinal could go down, or
it's going to be Espinal or Schneider, or maybe both.
Nathan Lucas, maybe. I don't know.
Well, Nathan Lucas is going to be down for Kiermaier. That's automatic.
Yep.
So, yeah, it
feels like David Schneider's getting sent down.
It sucks, but hopefully it's after the podcast drops.
Yes, that's why we need to get this out. We won't find out till Friday, at least.
Yeah, we won't find out till Friday. But Johnny Sources will not be tweeting anything about that, so he's retired, as I mentioned on the podcast with him. But yeah, no, I can't wait to see Bo Bichette back. This lineup with Bo Bichette is just always more fun to watch because that dude rakes. Like that pitch he had today, Avery. He doesn't give a fuck in the minors. It was like a middle pitch, no leg kick, just the leg lift and just smack it the other way.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going first to home. It's like he could have played tonight, probably. Let's make that clear.
100%. As long as he feels good tomorrow, I think that's where they're at this point. As long as you wake up and you feel good.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to be in Buffalo besides to get at bats tomorrow to get you ready for Friday.
Get that motherfucker on the first class flight to Cincy as soon as possible because this team needs him. That jersey goes nuts. The Bichette 4 Buffalo one. Like that's a good party jersey. Like that's a good like boat party jersey. Like the Bo Bichette. One of our listeners bought one today. I just got someone tweeted at me that he bought one. Shout out to that guy. That's electric shit. That's a jersey that you could wear wherever. And that people are going to be like, that jersey goes nuts. Yeah. Like the old
because what number was he wearing? Number 4?
4, yeah. Like that's only the first and the last game he'll probably wear tomorrow, I guess. He'll only wear that for 2 games in his entire career, the number 4. So it's a collectible. It's a collectible item. But yeah, shout out to our guy, man. Need to see Bo Bichette back bad. Need to see him back bad. But let's go into today's game, man. So Kevin Gossman, Avery, can you pull this up on the Savant Slutch stand up? Was he just not throwing his splitter tonight? It felt like he wasn't because the Phillies were either maybe he was tipping or I don't know what it was. I really don't.
25 of them, 30%.
Okay. Were they all like takes? Like what was the swing rate on those? It couldn't have been that high. He only had 5 strikeouts tonight, I think, right? Or 4. He had 4 strikeouts tonight.
Zone swing percentage 61%, out of zone swing percentage 24%.
Okay, so it was good then. That's weird.
Oh no, out of zone swing percentage 41%. Other one. He didn't throw it in the zone ever. Only 32% of the time was the ball in the zone. So maybe they just saw something with it and it's hey, if it's up above a certain point, swing. If it's down, kind of like the O's you said, right?
Yeah.
If it's down, just don't even. If it becomes a strike somehow, whatever.
Fuck, the Mariners won. The Jays are only a game up now. God damn it, these motherfuckers. You know who the Mariners face next?
I'm sure like the A's.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know, man. Gossman's looked weird lately, man. I mean, I think he's better, and I could be contradicting myself because I might have said he's better on 6 days rest a couple podcasts ago. But I do think the 6 days rest maybe is fucking with him. I feel like he's a guy that just has to go 5 days. He's been struggling, man. His last couple starts haven't been that good. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up his last couple starts here because I know tonight obviously got the loss, 5 innings, 5 earned runs, obviously with the Espinal error. Espinal the hell, by the way. 5 runs tonight, 0 his last start. Never mind. 0, 3, 1, 4, 2. I don't know what it is then. Maybe he just does not look overpowering with striking guys out, like 4 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts. That might be it.
It's not the 12 nines we've seen of before.
Yeah. So maybe he's not getting as much swing and misses on 2 strike counts because they're just laying off his splitter. But yeah, but when he's bad, he's not bad though. That game tonight, Espinal, I don't know what it is, and like no one's talked with this Espinal. Maybe it's my dumb brain looking at this, Avery, but he always double clutches on fucking ground balls. Like he goes like double, like that's what you're taught when you're 6. Like don't double clutch. And this, I'm just fucking having a meltdown on my words right now. And this dude is just bang, bang, not even close. But
on the air today, I think the runner getting in front of him is the reason he did that. Because you see the runner who was going second or third. I forget who the runner was, but he was right in front of Espinal. He was ready to throw. Runner runs in front, double clutch again, throws it low. Vladdy's got to make that play as well. Wasn't one of the tougher.
It's a little bit of both, though. I'm gonna probably say 75-25. Like John Olsen and McCook is body bagging me for not picking that.
Really?
Yeah. He's not getting mad. Like our JUCO coach, like Jo, we'll talk about this when he comes on, whenever that is. He doesn't get mad at the guy that makes the error. He gets mad at the guy that doesn't pick it at first.
Nice.
Like I remember sometimes, dude, like some guy would like throw like a dog shit hop to me and I wouldn't pick it, even though I picked everything. I'd miss like one. And he'd be like, pick the fucking ball, John, like screaming for me across the diamond in the middle of a game. Would just roast me. Not the guy that just does a 2 hop to me at first base. So yeah, it's 25 on Vladdy. That has to get at least put in front of you because that did score 2 runs, I think it was, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so not great from Vladdy.
Lost the lead too.
You just gotta take this. I mean, listen, the Jays had a decent stretch without their best hitter. And a lot of guys like Kevin Kiermaier wasn't playing that much of it. Chapman missed a decent amount of it. No Trevor Richards. Chad Green's still not here yet. Like, this is a decent run they went on here.
There's a pretty unserious lineup they put out back-to-back games.
Exactly. So, Positive Johnny's saying it's all right. All right? It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. So, let's attack the off day tomorrow. Let's win the off day. We're going to win the off day. Whatever Bo Bichette does, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to win whatever Bo Bichette does. If Bo Bichette gets a hit, we won the off day and we're back to a game and a half up on the Mariners. That's where we'll be at. But yeah, let's go to listener questions, Avery. This is going to be a long pod for the people. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys, if you are in Cincinnati, I think I mentioned this last podcast or on the live stream, DM us. Come hang out with the Gate 14 boys. I know I already got a pretty decent amount of DMs about that. So if you're there, just tell me. Tell us.
I don't know if you told this here. Where did you meet Bryson? Someone wants to know.
Okay. So yeah, when I went to McCook, obviously, shout out Dave, Chase, Keanu, all those guys are from Vegas and went to the same high school as Bryson. So I went to Vegas for Keanu's baby shower. Shout out Kaysen. His baby mother hates me. I don't know if she does anymore. She might. But I went to the baby shower. And me and Keanu at the age of 18, I used a fake ID of my buddy who's ginger named Jared Barilla. So I just kept on getting me and Keanu drinks. And this was the worst fake ID ever. This is like the worst fake ID on the planet. But me and Keanu got mangled on the strip, went and did a $200 hand on blackjack, even though we're underage. No one ID'd us. And took our winnings and just left. And I remember Bryson came and picked us up. This is when he was a freshman at UNLV or a sophomore at UNLV. So this is like before he was really good at baseball. So he came, picked us up, and we just hung out with Bryson for a little bit, became good buddies with him. After that, I started playing Fortnite with him, would like talk every day, FaceTime, like just became, and then I'd go visit him in Vegas 3 times a year, like twice in the off season. And then once during the season, I'd visit him wherever he's playing, like Williamsport or stuff like that. And then I surprised him on draft day Me and his mom coordinated it where I would show up the day before on draft day and I surprised them because I wasn't talking in our group chat or wishing him any good luck or anything like that. And he's like, "What the fuck?" So I just surprised him on draft day and got to experience that with him. So yeah, I've been boys with him for like 7 years. So I met him through the guys in McCook.
Oh yeah. Someone wants to know if the Codeine Cavan run is legit. Has to be.
Oh, it's legit. This is a 30-game stretch now. This is not a fuck around zone by COVID Cavan. COVID Cavan he's Himothy. He has as A would say, he has hemitis.
He does.
He has hemitis right now.
He has a dirty, dirty case of hemitis.
Yes.
Why did Johnny and Blue Jays dad get on good terms?
Why did we?
Yes, or how did it
because
happen?
He sucked me, like pretty much just sucked me off online. I literally, and the crazy thing is his shtick is he'll just say outlandish shit, which I think he might be a generational troll, like one of the best to ever do it, because he tweeted, I was right about the bullpen, right about the Calvin Biggio, right about this, right about that. And I just ratioed the shit of him. I said, credit to you for saying Bo Bichette's your starting shortstop. That took bravery out of you. But he doesn't acknowledge when I chirp him like that, or he won't say anything, but he'll pump my tires when I have a funny tweet or any of that type of stuff. So I'm back in on the Blue Jays dad train. This is the easiest way for Johnny Junta to become your guy is you just have one tweet being like, I love the Gate 14 boys, or I love Johnny, and I'm back in on you. Like, for example, I'm not fond of the nerds on Twitter that are like baseball savant guys. Like, you know who I'm talking about, the 18-year-old make-believe GMs. But the one guy that I do like is EJ. Shout out EJ on Twitter. You know EJ.
Yep.
Great, very smart guy. He pumped our tires a couple times on Twitter. I didn't follow him. He followed us, said he loves the Gate 14 podcast, all that type of stuff. Very cordial with me, never chirped us ever, would never chirp us. Like I'm in on him. But the other guys, like they can fucking rot, like they're dead to me. But I only have room for one guy like that. So shout out EJ. But yeah, you pump our tires, you be nice to me, I'll be nice to you.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at with
you
it.
don't even need to pump the tires. Just don't.
Yeah, just don't be a dickhead to us. like just understand what we're doing here. We're just having fun, and we'll be your guys forever. So I'll have Blue Jays dads back forever now. I'm gonna be staying with them in Minnesota for the wild card series.
Yeah, we'll stay at his place. If that happens, man, that'll be something else. Okay. Judah wants to know what our first jobs were and how did those end up?
Okay, we'll go. Okay, I'm not gonna count my first job at Canadian Tire.
Yeah, I had two kind of like fake first jobs.
So my first job was at the lumberyard where I would illegally sell wood to people for cash. That was my first job. Goodfellow Lumber, biggest piece of shit racist company on the planet. We might get sued for me saying that. But never mind, I'm joking. That was all a joke. Wait, that was all a joke. But anyways, just a loser company, and I don't even know if they're still a thing anymore. But yeah, that was my first job. Very old-fashioned run. They would smoke cigarettes inside of a lumberyard, which obviously is very highly illegal. They would smoke cigarettes in the office. So I was thrown into the mix. My little gap year between McCook and high school, like pretty much people were saying like it was a pretty much wake up call. Like if you don't if you don't have any ambition in life, this is where you'll be. So it woke me up a lot, actually. We used to get mangled on Fridays at the warehouse. We used to get, like just fucked up Fridays at work. So we would just be working, and everyone would just be fucked up drunk. So it was a fun job for the little time being I had it. I used to go back there every summer.
Yeah, I had similar thing as to where I was working in the summers. I would work at Humberview Trucks, but my job was to get brand new cars off the trucks, clean them, get them ready, and then drive them to the airport to be rented. I did that every summer I was in college. So I got to work with like two of my best friends. It was an awesome job. It was like four really young guys and the oldest workers you'd ever seen just mixed in together. We had one of the workers, just an Asian man who loved badminton, wasn't
Shout
great.
him out.
Yeah, Quan, one of my favorite people I've met my whole entire life. He showed up to one of our baseball games because we all played on the same junior team together. Just an absolute awesome time. But then I did one day of landscaping in my life and I got fired after that.
Okay, I did landscaping a little bit too. I did everything, bro. I did golf course maintenance. I did landscaping on the side, moving jobs. Johnny Blue Collar.
Landscaping's fucking tough, man. working out in the sun in the summer.
It's so good. It's so good to get you in shape. Like it literally snaps you into great shape because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
literally you probably lose like 10 pounds a day. Like that's obviously no exaggeration.
And you're
but
working with your arms. Like that's good man strength right there.
yeah, no, that's a blue collar type shit.
Yeah. So shout out to all the blue collar workers who listen to this during work, or if you're fucking the guy who's on the farm who is like getting the crops ready, listening to Gate 14. I love when he tweets that.
Yeah, that's the best. I want that tweeted at us on my desk every episode.
Yes.
I want that on my desk every episode. I want the guy on the farm. If you're listening, I know you are. I need that video farm update. I want just the caption farm update. Gate 14 forever. That should be the caption. But keep doing your thing, brother. Fuck yeah.
If we were to combine the 2023 pitching and the 2021 offense, would the Jays win the World Series?
Easily. They'd be the Atlanta Braves of this year. It would be the most it'd be the greatest team ever. They'd be the greatest team ever. It's just like the Vince McMahon meme. It was special. They were special.
Okay, someone wants to know if we'd consider doing a Gate 14 playoff bracket. Also drop our playoff bracket predictions of playoffs started today. I don't have that pulled up unless you can pull them up.
I know. I will not be doing that.
Okay. So we'll do that. We'll do that next episode.
Yes.
Then. Sorry. We should do a playoff bracket. I can set that up and like the winner gets a piece of merch. So
yeah, we can do that.
Make sure, Andrew, you remind us before the playoffs start and I can make that happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Is Edwin the next one to make the level of excellence?
Easily. No questions asked. And him doing this, the hitting stuff with the team right now and kind of being in the clubhouse. I think that's kind of him adding to the charm for this team.
Okay, we already know that Avery did this. But did Johnny wear the Davis Schneider, Brett Cecil, clear Oakleys in his playing days?
No, I wore these.
Why?
I'm trying to think. I don't think they had my prescription in those. I could be wrong. With that. But I used to wear these when I used to play hockey. Picture me under a helmet wearing these.
No way, dude.
Yes.
If you wore a fishbowl or something, that would be the best look of all time.
No, I wore glasses under, and I would just body bag motherfuckers. And the thing is, though, what sucked is I'd wear glasses and I would try to chirp someone, and they'd be like, "Nice fucking glasses, dude. Like what? Like shut the fuck up." And I'd be like, "It's a fair point. It's a good point. You got me, man." So yeah, that's why I will never strap the hockey skates on ever again.
Why don't you just wear contacts?
I probably can now, but back in the day, I couldn't touch my eyes. Actually, I'm gonna try that right now. Yeah, I'm chilling now. I can touch my eyes. But yeah, before I couldn't. So that's why. Yeah. In retrospect, I probably could have, because it would have eliminated a lot of getting made fun of by their team.
But I think that made you stronger in the end.
Yeah, it made me stronger.
Okay, how many MLB stadiums? I think we've answered that. But what MLB stadium do you want to go to next? I don't think we've answered the second. Petco for me, and Fenway I want to get to.
It's Petco or bust. I mean, the stories that Musgrove was telling about that fucking stadium is like he painted a picture that I can't get out of my head. I need to go to Petco. Bad.
So I've been around Petco but never seen a game there.
Oh really? I've never even been to San Diego before.
Yeah, I went to San Diego for a day. I got COVID there. Yeah, so I'll never forget that. So I kind of feel like I've been there. I'd love to see a game there, but
for sure.
I would like to go to Fenway. Last one. Hot take to say I want Kikuchi to start as the Jays 2 guy in the playoffs. No.
That's not a hot take at all. He's like the most consistent starter on this team.
Yeah. Also, way too early, but what would you like to see the Jays do in the off season this year?
They're gonna have to replace Chapman, but I don't know how.
I'm in the boat where we need to let the young guys be in the majors next year. Yeah. So I don't.
But Ross Atkins gonna make a phantom like Matt Chapman type trade, right? He's gonna pick up some random guy
for sure. But I think we have talent in the minors that is just gonna continue to sit there. Either you trade it for good major league talent, or you let them try and play next year. I don't think it's going to be a big offseason for the team. Obviously, you can try and get in on Shohei for what they estimated, $700 million.
That's not happening.
Yeah,
that's just not happening.
But other than that, I'm pretty sure it's not that great of a free agent class either.
No, it's terrible.
So I don't actually think they make a big splash this offseason. trades will be bigger than the big free agent moves.
Yes. Yes.
That's all we got here.
Okay, let's go into the series preview, man. I mean, again, this is a game that you should win. I mean, this is a series that you should win. The Cincinnati Reds are scuffling, obviously, not looking great. The Toronto Blue Jays it's good pitching matchups here. Friday, Jose Barrios versus some bum who they haven't even announced yet. Saturday is Chris Bassett. The Friday they haven't announced yet. I think Friday's a bullpen game for them. Saturday is Chris Bassett versus Williamson. No idea who that is. By the way, the Saturday game's at 6:40 p.m.
Yeah, that rocks, dude. I thought
under the lights.
I thought we were rolling hangovers into day game.
That rocks.
Yeah, I know. So we can go out till a break of dawn, and then
I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping. It's Friday night.
Yes, that's like we can get back to the room at like 6 a.m. 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours.
That is. Thank you, Robbie Manfred. 6:40 p.m. Saturday under the lights. Yup. Sign me the fuck up for that. Okay. And then Sunday, I'm assuming is Ryu, right?
Yeah.
Is it Ryu or
Ryu? Barrios is Friday.
Okay. So Barrios, Bassett, Ryu. Jays take 2 of 3, and the 2 games they win is when we're in the fucking building. We turn this around now, Avery.
Yeah,
we turn the no-hitter juju around.
If everyone shut up about us watching the Jays out of country, because our record's what, 1-2 now?
Not great.
Not great.
No, it's 1-2.
So we turn things around and we get to 3-2 by the end of the weekend, and the Jays sweep the weekend.
Okay, love to see that.
Get their catalyst back. Good pitching again. Overs in every game because Great American Ballpark's built for ants. But I think they can sweep. They actually need to sweep.
They need to sweep. You're going to say sweep? I thought you were doing the reverse thing. We've been working on that.
Jays get swept.
Jays get swept. Need that. But it's going to be, listen, this vlog is going to be the funniest shit because we're going to have everyone recording stuff. Like, we're going to have Curtis behind the camera at some point, Alto, me, you, whatever. It's going to be the funniest mixes of vlogs ever. And we're going to be going to the Tin Roof after Old Faithful. And if you're in Cincy, meet us there. We'll be firing that, staying up till 6 a.m. I cannot wait, dude. I have jitters thinking about it. We're 2 days away from Cincinnati. And Alto and Curtis are making the smart decision to go to Chris Stapleton on Thursday night. So they're just not going to, they're going to be puddles in the car. So it's going to be me and it's going to be the Johnny and Avery show on the drive up. So stay tuned for that. Gas station review. Should we do gas station reviews? That gas station review video I did went nuts. I think we should do gas station reviews.
We can do literally whatever we want. And if it sucks, we take it out.
We just delete it, edit it. Twitter blue.
Avery, as long as I get all the videos, I think this can get out like Monday or Tuesday again, as long as I'm in a good headspace.
And you bring it out. You can edit it in the car.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, neither. I would never do that either. I just wanted to throw that out there. I want to have so many Zins on this road trip. There should be a Zin counter. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do that on my phone. See how many Zins I had.
Yep.
It's funny because my mom will see my tweet. She'd be like, "Did you actually have 20 Zins this weekend?" I'm like, "No, it's a joke. It's not a joke. I had 20 Zins on that weekend."
That's just like,
but yeah,
my mom asking me about the Marlboros I bought that are going to be on the kitchen when she comes back. It's like, yeah, I'm just saving those for my buddies. Don't worry.
Yeah, Johnny's a big smoker.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, man, we're getting into crunch time. I keep saying this every podcast. This is fun baseball. I don't care if they're in first place, third place, in a playoff race, fourth place, whatever. Every game meaning something just tickles my fancy. Tickle, tickle, tickle. It fires me up. So let's have ourselves a weekend. Let's win a series in Cincinnati. Let's body bag Ella de la Cruz or whatever. And let's have ourselves a weekend. It's a summer weekend here in August. Enjoy it. Have a great one. And if you haven't bought tickets yet to Gate 14 Bar Night, buy tickets. Hope you enjoy the David Schneider interview. Love you guys. Gate 14 forever. Let's have a weekend.
Yeah.